10 divine signs your current hardships are actually building your future calling. What if the season you're desperately asking God to remove is actually the season He is using to prepare you for your calling? What if the rejection, the delays, the loneliness, the closed doors, and the battles you're facing aren't the end of your story, but part of your preparation? Not every hardship comes from God, but God can use even the hardest seasons to shape you for what He has planned. Joseph had a pit before he had a palace. David had a wilderness before he had a throne. Moses had a desert before he had a mission. Sometimes preparation doesn't look like preparation while you're going through it. Here are 10 signs that your current hardship may be building something greater within you. Number 1, you are being pushed out of your comfort zone. Suddenly, the things that once made you comfortable don't feel comfortable anymore. Certain opportunities disappear. Certain doors close. You find yourself having to make decisions you never expected to make. It can feel like everything is falling apart. But sometimes growth begins when comfort ends. God may be developing courage, faith, and independence in you because your future will require qualities your current environment could never produce. Number 2, you are experiencing delays. You prayed. You waited. You believed. But nothing seems to be happening. And the longer you wait, the easier it becomes to wonder whether God has forgotten you. But remember Joseph. His dream didn't happen immediately. There was a process between the promise and the position. A delay doesn't automatically mean denial. Sometimes the waiting season is where your character catches up with the future you're praying for. God may be preparing you before He prepares the opportunity. Number 3, you are losing people you thought would stay forever. Some losses hurt because you never imagined life without those people. But not everyone who walks with you is meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Sometimes God allows relationships to end, not because those people were necessarily bad, but because your season is changing. Don't spend your entire life trying to force people to remain where God may be moving you forward. Some departures create room for growth, healing, and new relationships that align with the person you are becoming. Number 4, you are learning lessons you never wanted to learn. Pain can teach you things comfort never could. Rejection can teach you resilience. Failure can teach you humility. Disappointment can teach you discernment. Losing can teach you how to appreciate what truly matters. You may not understand why you're experiencing these lessons right now, but one day you may realize that the very things that wounded you also gave you wisdom. Your scars can become evidence that you survived what once tried to destroy you. Number 5, you keep finding yourself in situations that require courage. Every time you think you've reached the end of your strength, another challenge appears. But notice what is happening. You're becoming stronger. You're learning to make decisions when you're afraid. You're learning to stand when nobody is clapping for you. You're learning to keep moving when you don't have all the answers. David didn't become courageous when he stood before Goliath. He developed courage in the hidden places while protecting his father's sheep. Your private battles may be training you for public responsibilities. Number 6, your old identity no longer feels right. You may look at your life and realize, I'm not who I used to be. Things you once tolerated now disturb you. Goals you once chased no longer satisfy you. You begin wanting something deeper. This can feel confusing, but sometimes transformation begins with discomfort. The old version of you has to make room for the person you're becoming. You cannot step confidently into a new calling while constantly trying to return to your old identity. Number 7, your pain is giving you compassion for other people. Think about the things you've survived. Maybe you know what rejection feels like. Maybe you've experienced failure, loneliness, disappointment, or being misunderstood. And now, when someone else is hurting, you understand them differently. Your experience may eventually become a source of encouragement for someone else. The pain you wish you never experienced could become the very reason you are able to reach someone who feels completely alone. Number 8. You are being prepared in private. There may be a season when nobody sees what you're doing. Nobody celebrates you. Nobody knows how hard you're working. It can feel like you're being overlooked. But some of the greatest preparation happens away from the spotlight. David was a shepherd before he became a king. Moses spent years in the wilderness before returning to Egypt. Jesus himself spent years in relative obscurity before beginning his public ministry. Don't despise your hidden season. Just because people don't see the preparation doesn't mean the preparation is meaningless. Number 9. You keep being drawn back toward a particular purpose. There is something that keeps coming back to your heart. Maybe it's helping people. Maybe it's teaching. Maybe it's creating. Maybe it's leading. Maybe it's ministry. Maybe it's using your story to encourage someone else. You try to ignore it, but the desire keeps returning. That doesn't automatically mean every desire is a divine calling, so seek wisdom, prayer, scripture, and wise counsel. But sometimes the repeated pull toward a purpose is worth paying attention to. Your calling may begin as a small burden in your heart long before it becomes visible in your life. And number 10, your hardship is producing spiritual maturity. This may be the greatest sign of all. You're not necessarily seeing everything you prayed for yet, but you're becoming different. You're learning patience. You're learning discipline. You're praying more deeply. You're becoming less dependent on people's approval. You're learning to trust God even when you don't understand His timing. Your circumstances may not have changed, but you have. And that matters. Because sometimes God changes you before He changes your situation. So if you're currently walking through a difficult season, don't immediately assume your story is over. Maybe you're being strengthened. Maybe you're being redirected. Maybe you're learning something you'll need in the future. Maybe you're developing the character required for the responsibility you've been praying for. Joseph couldn't see the palace from the pit. David couldn't see the throne from the wilderness. Moses couldn't see his mission while he was living in the desert. And you may not be able to see your future from where you are standing today. But don't confuse being in preparation with being forgotten. Your current chapter is not necessarily your final chapter. Keep praying. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep walking with God. And if the door hasn't opened yet, don't assume the journey has been wasted. Because one day, you may look back at the season you wanted to escape and realize it was the season that built the person you needed to become. Your hardship may not be your destination. It may be part of your preparation. So don't give up now. The story isn't finished.